beginning is a very delicate time. Know then that it is the year 10,191. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange.
The spice. He knows about the spice.
So Kevin,
Yeah.
is spice the most important thing in life?
Nah, man. The trannies.
All right, what are your thoughts, Spice and Wolf?
Okay, so just like Dune, this has a remake.
Yep, that's actually wow.
One that, and just like Dune, nobody saw this one coming.
Nope, that's also true.
Yeah, so I was a big fan of the original Spice and Wolf, and gosh, can you believe that this thing is the original light novel is still going to this day? Not only that, but it's spin-off series, and we get with this a nice preview at the main character of that spin-off, which I won't spoil for those people that don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But this one I was definitely looking forward to, and I was surprised that they even decided to do a reboot, because quite frankly the first 2 seasons hold up really well, and because I actually went back and like rewatched just to compare. And while the animation is like, you can tell from the early mid 2000s, it still looks great. And I was like, I don't necessarily think it needs to do a remake. Mm-hmm. And I've not read the original light novels, but I've heard that the original anime did make a couple of changes from that. So I don't know if they were necessarily like big or if it angered the original fan base, but I assume that this new one is going to be a lot more faithful to the original adaptation. I mean, if you're going to remake it, you might as well make some changes from the original, a la Brotherhood style. So, but it's nice to see this, with a modern animation style, and it still holds up in my eye. It's that first episode.
It's very well. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
What? これどうじゃ？似合うかや？
待て、それは俺のだ。
そのようじゃよ。
The main characters of Holo and Lawrence hold a very special place in my heart. This show, this series is like one of the first things that ever got me like really into anime. And it showed me that like anime can be more than just like your typical battle stuff.
Just battle shonen.
Yeah, I mean it's
not just Naruto, Pokemon, and porn.
Yeah, I mean when I first heard of this series, because I saw like Holo everywhere. She would be in like every person's avatar in forums and stuff.
And she was the queen, Shin Haruhi.
Yeah, she was like one of the queens of the early mid 2000s. Yep. And I was like, what is this? So then I looked into it, and I was not expecting it to be a lesson on economics.
Yep.
I think I have learned more about how the economy works through this series than I ever have in econ class. Like, man, when Holo and Lawrence are explaining like how to like devalue currency and like market speculation, they do a real good job at it.
新しい銀貨は同じ銀貨である限り今の銀貨とも価値は同じけれどよその貨幣に変えるとなれば今の銀貨よりも高い価値になるんですぜ。つまり
今の銀貨を大量に集めておいて新しいのが出たと同時にそっちに交換すれば差額の分だけ大儲けできるってわけか。
So, should Holo be the chair of the Fed?
She should.
Okay.
You know what? Holo should also just be like the YouTuber that's just like, okay, this cryptocurrency is high. buy.
I feel like Holo wouldn't be a crypto.
No,
show.
she wouldn't. She would hate it. She goes like, it's just based on speculation.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no. Yeah, Lawrence would also be against it. I
Yeah.
could see Holo and Lawrence on the TSN, like the Home Shopping Network.
God, they're fucking
And
gold
they're doing like gold and silver are only appreciating in value.
Because of a shortage of specially made gold blanks, it's no wonder the price of that edition has gone through the roof.
In the last 20 years, it has quadrupled in value.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's actually worse than crypto. I would say just be fucking NFT monkey scammers.
Yeah. But
Embarrassing.
Yeah, but you Kurt have not seen the original series. So
Yes.
yeah, what were your opinions of this?
My opinions are I can finally delete the like 50 private messages from my anime list account where you're like, you should watch Spice and Wolf, and I respond no.
Did I?
Next week you should be like, you should watch Spice and Wolf, and I'm like, no.
You should. And then I was like, you should watch Spice World.
And I'm like, yes.
The Spice Girls movie. Yeah, I know.
Best movie ever, yeah.
Yeah, hell's yeah. See, producer Nick is with me.
No matter how long you've been watching, there's always gonna be like one or two shows that are just like in your blind spot that are like these sort of like pillars of what used to be like the old of like chart where you'd have the chart and like these are the like 50 shows you need to watch.
Yeah, you need to see.
And then before you can even ask for
yeah, like if you haven't seen Lucky Star and Haruhi and Toradora, don't even talk to me, dude.
It's funny because I think 90% of like people under age 20 probably haven't.
They probably
shows. But
I just love how you said all Kyo Annie shows also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll always go back to the mistake of going to the anime club in college, and then and then I recommended Bakano, and they're like, that's old. It's from like 2007, and I'm like, damn, it's 2013. Like, come on. But now it's like it might actually be old, but. Yeah, it's like sometimes everyone has their blind spots, and this was one of my blind spots, so it's a great excuse for me to be like, okay, I can finally watch this show that Kevin has been badgering me about for the last decade of knowing him. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, watch Spice and Wolf. Like, I don't know what he's going to badger me about now. Is it like Uma Musume or Princess Principal or something? Who knows?
Hey, Princess Principal is a must-watch. And Uma Musume.
So, yeah, so now that I was actually very impressed with the music, how much everything kind of weaves together. It's funny because I don't want to be that guy, but it's very Frieren. In a lot of ways, yeah.
It's
very Frieren in a lot of ways, and obviously there's the economic tilt of it, but it's a lot about this deity that has been essentially alive for so long. It's been able to watch the changing of times throughout,
just like Frieren. Yeah,
that's exactly why I brought it up.
Yeah,
and I have Mono no Aware on the mind because I've been editing the stupid video essay. But yeah, I'm very impressed with. I think one of the biggest reasons why I didn't watch the original is that I saw the initial when Lawrence meets Holo, and I felt that it was very. There's nothing inherently wrong with nudity, right? Again, we talked about this so many times about how there's cultural differences, but I felt that it was extremely male gazy how it felt like having Holo meet Lawrence in the original, or the like bits of it that I had seen before. And I felt like the way that the remake has treated it is very. Holo's being nude in that her first time meeting Lawrence, it never feels sexualized. This was I knew so much about the positives of the show, but again, this initial meeting just sold it to me where like, okay, I'm on board. A lot of the reservations I had about the original being not being as, or maybe being a little reserved about what I had seen of it.
Yeah.
My worries were wrong. I was wrong. Again, I don't know how much of a difference between the remake and this one there is in their initial meeting scene, but I can take that and say, I was wrong. My preconceptions were wrong. Shame on me. I should have watched it earlier.
Yeah, shame on you. That's why Princess Principal and Uma Musume get your asses on it.
Oh no, I don't like it. Stop it.
One of the things though that they kept that I really enjoyed the first time is when he demands to see her true form. And in the first one, I remembered like when he sees her for the first time, he's terrified of her. And I'm so glad that they kept that. His reaction of when he sees her, it's not like like, oh, this is so cool. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
die. Yeah.
And I think what I liked about that too is that they don't show it to us.
Yes.
I think sometimes we praise show don't tell, and this is show don't tell in that you don't have to show him, you just show how he reacts.
Yeah.
And that's enough to show, like, the audience is able to catch on to those cues.
Yeah.
Right? I really think that their first meeting scene was so powerful.
Yeah.
Like when Holo is just on the moonlight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
It's really
God.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is gorgeous.
And I gotta say, like, the first meeting, you're gonna hate me for breaking up this
Yeah.
comparison, but it's such an iconic meeting scene. It's
Yeah.
exactly like Shiro and Saber meeting at Fate Stay Night.
I don't disagree with that. It's similar.
The shot of like Holo in the moonlight
Yeah.
is very similar to Shiro on the ground with Saber.
Saber in
standing-
the hall, and like the night moonlight is like illuminating
Yeah.
her. It's that sort of same blue.
あなたが私のマスターか
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd both love to not be Dean, but you know, what can you do? Like,
But yeah, I was pleasantly happy with this show. One of the things that I'm so glad that they kept is the voice acting cast. I've seen this show with both the Japanese acting and the English dub, and I, just like the original, I rewatched it twice. First with the Japanese, and then I went back to the original with the English dub. And I was like, oh, I hope they kept the original cast. And they did. They kept the original cast, so kudos to them. And one of the things that this show does that goes beyond what other shows do is the opening is in English. It's the same song who's sung by Hana Hope. And she is also fluent in English. So she did the music video for the Fate anniversary.
Oh, really?
Thing. Yeah, and she, in that one, does two versions, the English and Japanese. And so just like that, she did the English version of the OP, and it's so beautiful. And I really appreciate it. And yeah, I love as you mentioned earlier, the aesthetics. This show really, the OP, it does a really good job at capturing that medieval style artwork, and the ED as well. And yeah, for the ED, I mean, the song is great. It's done by Claris, but man, nothing will beat the original ED of the apples, the 7 apples on the witch's tree. If they had brought that back, I would have stood up and clapped.
oh no, things I know.
The things I know.
I know that.
Yeah.
I clapped when I saw it.
I know what that is!
Yeah. But no, I loved it, but it would have been great to see that callback. You know, maybe when they do the final episode, they'll do an instrumental version of that, like they always do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these times they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah.
So Kevin, for once, his taste was okay, which is very shocking to me.
Yeah, and you might learn a thing too about economics as well. And also about like how deities work and how religion theocracy unironically is actually a big part of
it
it.
is.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes,
I
yes.
agree with that.
So you'll learn a bit about how cultures work and stuff. But the thing that I was like absolutely blown away was like looking up, like, is the original light novel still going? And it still is. So I don't know like how they're able to keep going with, like, especially with a show about economics. I don't know how interesting you necessarily can make that over and over again, but like the show is beyond that. Like if you think the show is only economics, don't worry. The one of the first arcs that you'll see early on is they've shown it in the opening. There's a shepherd girl. She's an important character in the first major arc, and it goes beyond economics. So if you're like, if you're a Coomer and you just you don't care anything about economics and you just want to watch cool action wolf girl do action stuff, there's some stuff of that, but I mean, don't worry, it's not. That'll come.
Wait, I promise. Wait, listen. Don't turn it off.
Don't turn it off. I swear. It's about more than just economics.
I think for me, it seems like I'll call it like journey core, which is kind of like Kino's journey, Mushishi. It feels very.
Is that a trademark?
Trademark.
Yeah.
Gajumaru Kurt journey core.
I like that.
It's very like Kino's journey, Mushishi. It has that vibe.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and ultimately they're going to her a hometown, Holo's
it's
home
a road
country.
trip movie.
Yeah.
Or like Frieren, hilariously, also a road trip movie.
Yeah. Did the writer of Frieren just copy the hack? That hack? I gotta change my opinions of Frieren now. Yeah, you know what? It's a good way to put it, but yeah, it is like a nice road trip movie, but yeah, it's a little
journey
core with a little hint of romance. You know, that's a big part of this. The connection with Lawrence and Holo. I think they have a great relationship.
As someone who's only watched 3 episodes in, I can tell you that just from the opening scene, I have eyes.
Yeah, you figured out who that person that those 2 people are talking. Have you figured that out yet?
Who is that?
Who is that?
It's the How I Met Your Mother school of storytelling.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that you liked it. It's as somebody who was a fan of the original. It's lived up to my expectations, my pretty high expectations. I hope, I pray that this means that the series has been like actually revived and we'll get a season 2, season 3, maybe even an animation of the spin-off series.
All right. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, I loved it. We so far have been introduced to the wolf, but I'm still waiting for the spice melange to make its appearance. I don't get why we haven't experienced that yet. We had 2 seasons in the original, and the spice has not made an appearance.